I have to take out 17,000 nails. I'll tell you, maybe the next episode. Welcome to Life on the Moose. Welcome back if you've been here before. If you want to know how to put a front door in a cabin, you've come to the right place, because I can recommend you to a channel or two that can help. I'm kidding. Stay tuned and we'll get this front door in. Have you ever noticed if you have to do a certain task, there's usually 3 or 4 things you have to do before you even get to that task? For example, putting in windows. Well, first you have to cut off the wrap. Then you have to cut out the sheathing. And then you have to seal the sill. So there's always something to do. Same story here. I already pulled back the tarp a little bit to expose the floor underneath. I'm going to go ahead and take that tarp just to get it out of here. Why drag it over the door and over the threshold? So I'm going to take care of that. I'm not going to make you watch that. And I also have to take some of the bottom sill out because I had just temporarily ran my skill saw. And so there's about this much left on each side of that bottom sill. Here, I'll show you. You see those little blocks right here and right there. So I got to get those out. And rather than get the generator going and getting the saws all out, I'm just going to get my handsaw out, and less of a hassle that way. Okay, well, let's get to work. All right, I have those 2 little pieces of sill cut off. Took the tarp out of the inside. Now I got to put some OSB down here and find a couple scraps of wrap to wrap that. See, you just can't put in a door. You got to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3 first. All right, we're on to Y. Let's put some sheathing on. Again. Get my nailer out just for this little project, so I'm using those roofing nails, 2-inch roofing nails. It'll be fine. Okay, I have my opening tidied up. It's a little bit different than a window because there are no flanges per se. But I just went ahead and tucked up the wrap and just taped it to the sides, more or less to get it out of the way. I'm gonna treat this bottom like a windowsill, and I'm gonna put that stretchy wrap on it, make sure I get it around those corners. That's the next step. Okay, the tape and the wrap is all finished. Now we're ready to put the door in, right? No, not even close. This is a 6-inch wall. That's a 4-inch door. Jamb extensions. I have to take this brick molding off of here. This trim, they call it brick molding. I have to take that off of there. Ooh, sun's in my eyes. Got to take that off of there and put the jamb extension on there, which is a whole project in itself. You thought this was going to be easy, didn't you? That's what happens when you buy a door that's made for 4-inch framing. 2x6 construction, like this is, requires either a special order, more expensive, or you buy a jamb kit, also more expensive. So first order of business is taking this brick molding off. I'm just going to grab a small piece of 2x4 and just tap on it and just push it away. I don't want to pry anything or break anything or leave indentations or grooves in anything. You want to watch, right? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, the brick molding is off. Now I just have to take these nails out of here so I can put it back on. Half of them are stuck in the brick molding. Half of them are stuck in the door frame. There's always something. I have to take out 17,000 nails, and then it'll be ready for step number 438. Hang on, we're almost there. Okay, the jamb extensions are on. I'll caulk and paint all the screw holes later. And then what I'm going to do is where the two pieces came together. You saw that I glued it. So what I'm going to do is put a bead of caulk along that same seam before I get ready to paint. At some point, if I have time today, I'll do that. But yeah, I definitely want to caulk that again. Make sure moisture does not penetrate. All right. We ready to hang this door? Nope, not quite. I'm gonna put a bead of silicone caulk along the sill. Some guys use construction adhesive, some guys use silicone. I'm gonna use silicone. Okay, I thought of one more thing before I put the silicone in there. I want to get rid of that little plastic deal that's holding the door shut. I'm gonna stand this thing up against the building and get rid of that, because that might get in the way of me sliding this into position. Holy cow, that thing's heavy. I'd ask for your help, but it's Sunday and I don't want to bother you on your day off. All right, bad news is this got a whole lot more wobbly. I left the plug in most of the way, so hopefully the door just won't go flying open when I try to lift this up by myself. Not try, will. I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna make sure I have all the packing material off of this thing. There's a little steel plate here that goes around the deadbolt. That stays there. It just adds more strength to the frame right there. I will eventually screw that frame into place, but for now I'm going to have a little finish nailer handy just to get it close. These little finish nails are practically like wire, so even though I get one or two in there, I can still move it around once it's in place. And oh, note on the silicone, you probably know this, that's one thing you don't want to get all over the place. because you can't paint it, you can't stain it. So try to contain it if you can. You ready? So these two reveals are the same from the frame to the building. That's one reveal we want to pay attention to right now. I'm trying to get that plug out so I can open the door. Okay, there it is. Looks like the door is racked a little bit that way right now. And all that stuff we can correct. Let's go talk about the inside reveal. Okay, you can see that crack right there. Obviously it's too wide and it gets smaller. What's happening right now is the weight of the door is pulling the top that direction. So I'm gonna put a couple shims in right along this side and get it a little bit closer. Okay, this top needs to be sucked in a little bit more. So the first thing I'm gonna do is tack this. Okay, that's better. So I want this outside edge, since it does not have the brick molding on, I want that flush with the wall. Because once I get the brick molding on, then my siding will go against it. The door manufacturer gave us a couple screws. These screws are gonna go in this hole in the hinges. That'll support it where it needs the most support. The weight of this door wants to pull it, so what I did, I shimmed the bottom of that door, take the weight off of it. So now I can concentrate on the back and forth racking of the door frame. Okay, I could feel it suck the door over. That's good. I was talking funny because I had a screw in my mouth. Okay, let's check the door, see if it closes okay. Okay, it does not close okay. I don't know if you can see that reveal between the door and the door frame. And then when it gets down to here, it gets very tight and it's kind of binding right there. So I think what I have to do is maybe put a shim behind this hinge to kick the bottom out a little bit to stop that from binding. That should do it. Let's try it. That looks better. Okay, the reveal between the door and the frame and the jamb is about the same all the way up and down, which is what we want. It closes, it's a little snug right now, but snug is always good. We just don't want it knocking against the frame, against the jamb. You can see down here, it's just a little tighter right there, but it's still not hitting. So we're good. Sounds like it's sealing well. And then up on top, the reveal is about the same there as well. And I'm looking at the reveal of the door and the jamb. I'm not considering right now the space around the frame. That'll all be taken care of, filled with spray foam and whatnot. Okay, so I'm gonna screw this thing to the building and I think we're gonna be good to go. Okay, I think I'm there. That reveal between the door and the door jamb is about the same all the way up. Both sides. Even space right here. This is the one I'm talking about for sure. So you always want to start on the hinge side, get it squared into the opening first, get that secured down, and then you can always fudge this side pretty easily. Closes nicely. Let's put some hardware on. Okay, deadbolt's on, but that hole for the deadbolt doesn't exactly match up with what they sent. So I'm gonna have to get the old wood chisel out, make that bigger. What fun! Okay, let's get that brick molding on. It's getting dark out here. It's getting chilly too. That's it. That's all she wrote. Look at that. We have a front door. What do you think? You guys ever put a front door in before? Any door? It's a little bit of a chore getting it shimmed up and getting it operating properly. But once I got that squared away, works pretty good. A door. My goodness, what's next? A doorbell? I'm happy about that. I'm happy you guys watching. I appreciate you tagging along today. I like making progress. I had a couple people comment that this awning isn't exactly in the middle of the building. We didn't want it in the middle of the building. We wanted it squared up over the window and the door. So the reveal on both sides of the door and the window are the same. What are we going to do next week? What do you want to do next week? We should get going on the siding probably. We still have some trim to do up on the eaves. We could do that. Did I tell you what we're going to do for siding for sure? Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you. Maybe the next episode. Well, that's it. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit that subscribe button and that like button if you haven't already. And if you have, muy bueno. I really appreciate that. All right. Well, I'm out of here. It's getting dark. It's 5:30. We're in the, holy cow. October's half over with already. Where'd it go? Seems like yesterday I was out here complaining it was too hot, and it's the middle of October. Okay, I have nothing else to add. Take care. We'll see you next week.